Today we take a look at the history of the American police car. The first police car in America showed up at the end of the 19th century. In fact, the very first police car anywhere was a wagon powered by electricity used in Akron, Ohio in 1899. But the very first cop vehicle was actually a motorcycle. The rise of police cars started when criminals started to use cars, and as criminals gained access to more powerful cars, cops needed to be able to keep up. Police cars didn't start out as utility and pursuit vehicles, though. Through the beginning of the 20th century, police cars were first used to save money. With a police car and radio, a single officer could cover an area that would previously have needed several officers. The markings on the early police cars were rudimentary at best, and the idea of a police package for a vehicle didn't show up until after World War I, when automakers simply took note of the most common options police departments chose and bundled them together. Ford's first police package appeared in 1950, followed by Chevrolet in 1955 and Dodge in 1956. In this list, we'll run through some of the key vehicles through the history of law enforcement in the U.S. The Chrysler Enforcer. In the 1960s, the Chrysler Enforcer was a Newport four-door sedan with a Chrysler police pack that included power steering and drum brakes. It offered the cop that had to keep up a 5.9-liter V8 engine pushing power through the rear wheels using a push-button transmission. That huge lump on the engine made 265 horsepower and topped out at 130 miles per hour. The Dodge Monaco. By 1970, 85% of American police cars were made by Chrysler. Chrysler's 7.2-liter Magnum V8 was a tough act to beat right up until the fuel crisis of the 1970s that put an end to gas-guzzling engines. The Monaco was the last of its kind from Dodge, as it started downsizing as demand for big engines dropped. The Monaco police car did, however, get the perfect swan song by being the hero car in the movie The Blues Brothers. The Ford LTD Crown Victoria. Before the Crown Victoria, Police Interceptor was the Ford LTD, with the P72 production code designating it for police, taxi, and fleet duty. By the end of the 1970s, available police cars didn't have the power that law enforcement wanted, and that went for the instantly recognizable Ford LTD and Chevrolet Impala. The Ford LTD is mainly included here for fond memories of the 70s and 80s TV movies where they were more often than not seen losing hubcaps or spinning out and crashing into things while the protagonist escaped. The Chevrolet Nova. When police departments wanted better performance and gas mileage and could make do with a smaller car, the Chevy Nova was a popular choice. Chevy designated its police package 9C1, and the Chevrolet Nova 9C1 was tested as a prototype for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department before becoming widely available from 1975 to 1979. The Ford Mustang SSP. California Highway Patrol needed something fast, and the normal patrol cars just weren't doing it for the department. Initially, the CHP used the 1979 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. And it demonstrated the effectiveness of a dedicated pursuit vehicle. Unfortunately, the Camaro didn't prove reliable enough for the CHP, but it did pave the way for Ford to introduce the Mustang Special Service Package in 1982. The Mustangs went into service complete with a 5.0-liter engine, a calibrated certified speedometer, radio noise suppression package, a relocated deck lid release, and of course the CHP's black and white livery. Later on, the SSP included things like a choice of an automatic or 5-speed manual transmission, front disc brake rotor shields, reinforced front floor pan, upgraded upper control arms with stronger bushings, 130 amp alternator, and an air deflector. The Ford Crown Victoria. Ford's Crown Victoria became the gold standard of police cars as the pool of police packages shrank at the beginning of the 1980s to the Crown Victoria, Dodge Diplomat, Chevrolet Caprice, and Ford LTD. The name Crown Victoria was used with the Ford LTD, but the specific model of Crown Victoria was a different beast and came with its own P71 designation. It became the most widely used car for law enforcement in the US and Canada, as well as Saudi Arabia, and stayed in production through 2 generations from 1992 through 2011. It's still in use today in many places, but it's being phased out in favor of SUVs. The Chevrolet Tahoe PPV. Chevrolet stopped making the Caprice in 1996, leaving Ford as the only company offering a rear-wheel drive police packaged car. However, Chevy did make a V8 rear-wheel drive police packaged Tahoe. At the time, many police departments were slow on the uptake of the full-sized SUV, but it was popular in rural areas despite an all-wheel drive version not being available. It was an inch lower and faster than a standard Tahoe, despite all the heavy-duty and performance components added to bring it up to law enforcement specifications. The Chevy Tahoe is still out there in full pursuit spec and a valuable tool for law enforcement. The 2021 Ford Police Interceptor Utility. Now that SUVs and crossovers have reached a point in performance where they're comparable with cars, their wholesale use as police vehicles was inevitable. The Explorer-based vehicle has been around since the start of 2019, but for 2020, law enforcement can have a hybrid all-wheel drive police car right out of the box. The base engine is a 3.3-liter Duratec V6 with 280 horsepower and 206 pound-feet of torque. But in top spec, officers have the 3.0-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6 with 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. The hybrid drivetrain means departments save a lot on fuel bills without compromising on performance and utility. Finally, the F-150 Police Responder. Ford claims to offer the first pursuit-rated pickup truck in the form of a purpose-built F-150, although there's no set standard other than the one companies set themselves. Trucks have been used before, but Ford went to town to deliver something for cops that have to venture into the wilderness. It includes suspension pulled from the FX4 off-road package, Goodyear Wrangler tires with DuPont Kevlar reinforcement, a 200-amp alternator to power all the lights and accessories, and the 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6 under the hood to deliver 375 horsepower and 475 pound-foot of torque. Well, there you have it, a brief history of the police car in the great US of A. Which do you think was the meanest looking or the fastest? We'd like to know. Leave your comments below. If you like this video, leave us a thumbs up. Please help our channel grow by subscribing and telling others about it. It's absolutely free. Don't forget to hit that bell for the new videos we upload each week. And again, thanks for watching.